Hi guys, today we are going to be talking about emotions. Emotions. We'll define what emotions are, talk about primary and secondary emotions, the key differences between these two kinds of emotions, and why understanding your emotions is important. Today I'm in a new location, as you can see, at least for the beginning of the video. My co-host is not here with me. Probably you'll see him hapo kabla tumalize. Hopefully he'll be there. And with that, karibuni wenzangu, karibuni. In the absence of my co-host Fluffy, I have a different co-host. Her name is Indigo. Say hi to Indigo. Camera shy. She's a bit camera shy. There's a few co-hosts around. Hopefully you get to meet them before I finish the segment I'm filming here. So what are emotions? Hi guys, before we start the video, there's a quote I would like to use. If you know whomever said the quote, comment in the, tell me in the comment sections below. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Emotions are our minds and body's way of reacting to the thing that is happening around us. Imagine walking into a big test. Imagine walking into a big test. Your heart is racing. You feel a lump in your throat. That's fear kicking in to help you focus and stay alert. Hi everybody, it's Caroline Gitari. Welcome to Conversations with Caroline. I am your host, your certified therapist, and let's get started. If primary emotions are beats of a drum, secondary emotions are the melodies that make the song unique. I just spotted another co-host, guys. This here is called Cookie. She has just been named by my niece. Cookie, say hi to YouTube. Hi YouTube. Hi YouTube. She doesn't like you guys. Ama ni mimi. Mimi anipendi. Cookie. Yeah. So what are primary emotions and what are secondary emotions? Primary emotions are the pure reactions to our environment or our emotions. They are sensitive and they are primal, they are inborn. Secondary emotions, on the other hand, are meta reactions. They are reactions to the reactions. It's how we feel about our feelings. They are based on our judgments, they are based on our beliefs and on our emotions. They are mostly influenced by our experiences, our culture, and our relationships. Secondary emotions are not inborn, and they are the emotions that come after the primary emotions, and their basic purpose is to protect us from what we are feeling. They are very avoidant. With that said, it is important to know how you're feeling, to explore why you're feeling how you're feeling, and to choose what we want to do about how we are feeling. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing emotions. We'll discuss primary and secondary emotions. Welcome to the channel. Before we get into differentiating primary and secondary emotions, let me talk a bit about secondary emotions. Indigo. Secondary emotions do not take time to notice or explore how we are feeling. They just want it to go away at any cost. When we act out our secondary emotions, we tend to attack, to criticize, to demand, to blame, leading to constant indigo, leading to constant problems like bad relationships, loneliness, stress, and addictions. I will differentiate them by talking about the primary emotions, then the secondary emotions. You can hear my co-hosts cheering for me. So let's keep going. Primary emotions. They are intrinsic and natural. And by this I mean they are inborn. We are all born with them. And some theorists would argue that even our pets, even animals, even wild animals are born with these primary emotions. Number two, they are functional. They serve a purpose. When you get to be aware of your primary emotions, it serves a purpose towards helping you move forward, build a relationship, etc. They can be painful or leo imekataa. Yeah. I haven't eaten Blue Band in a long time. Excuses. Anyway, they can be painful or pleasurable. That I think is self-explanatory. They can also be sensitive and vulnerable. We haven't discussed this before, but vulnerability is a superpower, and it is the one thing that helps build our relationships and help strengthen the existing relationships to something better. So primary emotions help you be sensitive towards other people's emotions, sensitive towards your own emotions, and vulnerable in a way that you're able to open up and you're also able to let someone else in. That's number 4. Number 5, primary emotions are rooted in the deeper part of the brain. Number 6, they help guide our actions. Number 7, they keep us connected with others and guide our actions. That has already been tumefafanua hapo kwa vulnerability. So that is primary emotions. They help us be vulnerable. They can be painful or pleasurable. They are sensitive. They are rooted in the deeper part of the brain, meaning it's not a shallow emotion. It's a very deep emotion. It comes from within. With that being said, we'll move on to secondary emotions. And as a definition we talked about earlier stated, secondary emotions are habitual and they are learned. We are not born with them. We get to learn them as we grow, as we interact with our environments, and as we interact with other people. The biggest purpose of Indigo Cookie. The biggest purpose of secondary emotions is to be protective. They come in to protect us from feeling, to protect us from being vulnerable, to protect us from the environment around us, and to protect us from our own selves. That's number 2. Number 3, they are defensive and avoidant. They do not tend to look inward. Instead, it's always about the other person, the other thing, and it's always a sort of blame situation. Number 4, we use secondary emotions to numb our primary emotions, so that, as we said in number 2, to protect us from what we are feeling and from the environment around us. Secondary emotions come from a place of learning. For example, I am a man and men do not cry. So when you find yourself in a situation where you feel your feels and you feel like crying and a tear or two flows down your cheek, your fellow grown-up man calls you and tells you, kuwa mwanaume atuliangi. and that in itself is learned. And having learned that, we in ourselves make it part of our lives and pass it on to the next generation. So secondary emotions are learned, they are not intrinsic. Secondary emotions are motivated by pain reduction. We do not want to feel our feels. We do not want to address why or how we are feeling the way we are feeling. So it evolves into a different feeling that protects us from the primary feeling. Secondary emotions, they linger long after the event is over, long after the situation that was giving us the feeling is over. And lastly, generally secondary emotions lead to distance and disconnect from our goals, our values, and people around us. Those are the basic differences between primary and secondary emotions. If you have any opposing view or any other difference that we haven't discussed, feel free to talk about it in the comments below. What are these primary and secondary emotions that we are talking about? Different theories differentiate them differently, but in this video I'm going to talk about the 5 different primary emotions and some of the secondary emotions these primary emotions lead to. And the 5 primary emotions are joy, which in different books is called happiness. So happiness / joy, fear, anger, sadness, and surprise. These are the 5 primary emotions, and it is debated that animals also have these 5 primary emotions, leading to the idea that these emotions are evolutionary. They're evolutionary and they provide survival benefit. Joy / happiness is the primary emotion that leads to being hopeful, being proud, being excited, and being delighted. So you could be in a situation where you feel delighted or you feel proud and excited, and according to these theorists, identifying your emotion as excited would be wrong. The right emotion to identify at this time would have to be joy. Cookie gives me joy. Next emotion is fear. Naniogopa, nanuka vumbi. Fear, ngojeni nishike notes zangu. Ouch. Fear leads to being anxious, being insecure, a feeling of inferiority, and panic. Panic. Ouch, ouch, ouch. The next one is anger, and anger is the primary emotion that leads to resentment. It leads to hate, envy, jealousy, being annoyed / annoyance, and all those that can be labeled negative emotions. Do not forget that also these negative emotions serve a purpose towards helping us learn stuff about ourselves and help us grow. The next primary emotion is sadness. Indigo. Oh, Cookie. Simama hapo. Ouch, ouch. Sadness, and sadness leads to mamalia ameamua nikwe hunchback. Sadness leads to shame, neglect, depression, guilt, and isolation. I feel that depression and isolation go hand in hand. Hey, Cookie. And you look so comfortable. Okay, that's sadness. Feeling is surprise is a primary emotion that leads to shock, dismay, confusion, confused, and being perplexed. What are your thoughts about these 5 primary emotions? What emotion do you feel that is inborn and is intrinsic and has not been discussed among the 5 primary emotions? How to recognize your primary emotions? You need patience. Okay, Fluffy insisted he had to be on this video, so co-host. Recognizing your primary emotions. No, angalia mbele. Angalia mbele. Yeah, good point. It requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to be able to feel your full range of emotions. It involves a process of self-exploration. You get to know yourself, you get to be comfortable with yourself, you get to be unfiltered with yourself, you feel the feels, and an attunement to one's own experiences, to one's own inner experiences. You need to have accepted who you are, how you feel, what you feel, and how you behave towards those feelings. So these are the 7 strategies I have for you on how to recognize your primary emotions. Strategy number 1, focus on your bodily sensations, what you're feeling, how your body is reacting, your muscles, your sweat glands, how things are reacting, and generally how your body is feeling in different situations. Number 2, you need to notice the quality of the emotion. Is it too strong? Is it mild? How long does it last? And what it is, generally speaking. Number 3, you need to distinguish between your thoughts and your feelings. Am I actually feeling this, or do I think I need to feel this and that's what I am responding to, or am I actually feeling it? Thoughts, differentiate your thoughts and your feelings. Fluffy, stop it. Hapana, hapana. Number 4, ask exploratory questions to yourself. What is it I'm feeling? What brought about this feeling? What brought about the sweat? What brought about the tension? What about what I am seeing, hearing, or experiencing is making me do the things I'm doing? And stuff like that will help you figure out your primary and your secondary emotions. Number 5, look beneath the secondary emotion. As we said, primary emotions come first, then secondary emotions are the reactions to your primary emotions. If you end up with a feeling of envy or jealousy, ask yourself, where is this coming from, and what has brought about jealousy, what has brought about my comparison of myself and the other person. Number 6, notice when your emotions shift and transform. As we said, primary emotions rarely shift or transform. They are pure and they are instantaneous. Then the secondary emotions are the reactions to these emotions. They are secondary, as the name suggests. So notice when your emotion goes from one level to the next, and that in itself will be a tell of what the primary emotion was and what the secondary emotion is, and it will help you. Fluffy, stop. Number 7, Pay attention to your impulses. That is self-explanatory. Pay attention to what you do, how you do it, when you do it, where you do it at. Like addictions, things like addictions, you have to notice with addictions, they are fueled with places, people, and things. You need to notice when you're feeling some sort of way, where you are, who you're with, and what are these things that are making you feel this way. Places, people, and things. Pay attention to these impulses, and that in itself will help you recognize your primary emotions. Fluffy is being a horrible co-host today, but at least I do not have a huge video to do with him around. I think he notices I did it. I did the videos with the felines. He can smell the felines on me, so he's being ridiculous. Fluffy, oh, sit, sit. You're a good boy. Good boy. We'll move on to why understanding emotions is good, the importance of understanding our emotions. Number one, it helps us improve our relationship with other people, our relationship with ourselves, and how we communicate to ourselves and others. It helps in decision making. We do not sway a lot, we become decisive, and that in itself helps us build our boundaries, communicate our boundaries in a better, healthier way. It also enhances our self-awareness because it enhances introspection, and looking inward is what helps us get to know who we are, build better relationships with ourselves, and hence enhance our self-awareness. And in so doing, these three things will help build better mental health. Yep. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep connecting with your emotions. It's me and Cookie. Kwaherini. Cookie, sema bye bye, bye bye, bye YouTube, bye YouTube, bye YouTube.